So today I'm going to be making a simple recipe, tortilla chips. Here I have 2 cups of white spelt flour. You want to go ahead and mix in sea salt. I put about 1 teaspoon. You can add in more or less depending on your preference. And also just a few dashes of cayenne pepper, which you can omit if you want to. You can also add in a half a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon of onion powder, depending on your preference. You want to get everything nice and combined, and then start adding in your grapeseed oil. I add in about 3 tablespoons of grapeseed oil. The amount of grapeseed oil you add, it can vary depending on your preference. You can add a little less oil if you prefer. But you want to mix it with a fork until it's nice and crumbly and it kind of looks like this. And then you want to go ahead and start adding in your spring water. Now with this, I eyeball it. So I start off by adding maybe 1 tablespoon of water at a time, and then I give it a mix, and you want to keep doing this until it forms like a dough ball. For me, I generally use around a third of a cup total. But just to make sure that you don't put too much spring water, you want to add just a little at a time until it starts to form into a dough ball, and it shouldn't be sticky. It should be a non-sticky dough ball. And now I'm just going to go ahead and mix it with my hands just to make sure that it's completely incorporated, because sometimes when you use the fork it won't get all of the water. If you happen to add too much water, you can always add a little more spelt flour. So I'm just going to continue mixing, and once I've finished mixing, it forms a dough ball like this, and I'm just going to knead this for about 1 minute. So this is what it should look like. It should come together nicely and not be too sticky. You want to knead it for about an hour. I'm doing it in the bowl, which is kind of difficult just to show you, but you can just put this on a flat surface and do this as well. So just knead it for about a minute, and then after you finish kneading this, you're going to go ahead and cover this with some plastic wrap or whatever you have, and you want to let this sit for 20 minutes, at least 20 minutes. So this is what it looks like after 20 minutes. Kind of has these little pockets of grapeseed oil that you can see. Now it's time to go ahead and roll it out. I just put mine between 2 pieces of wax paper, but you can roll it out however you want on whatever surface works best for you. This is about how thin you want it to be. You don't want it too thin. You want it about as thin as you would have any tortilla kind of chip. And so that's just how I roll mine out. And you want to just start to cut it into triangle shapes. You can do this with a knife. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just whatever you can do to make it triangle shape. I find it easier to actually do this with a pizza cutter, but I'm just showing you how I would cut it with the knife. So you just want to do that until you have all of your triangle shapes. And now it's time to go ahead and fry these up. Now, yes, for those of you who are a little more conscious about frying, you can put them in the oven and bake them. They won't come out as light and airy as these do. This is something that my daughter really likes, so I like to fry them for her. But if you bake them, they'll come out. They'll still be good, but they'll be more like a cracker texture when you put them into the fryer. And you can fry these in a shallow pan. You don't have to deep fry them like I'm doing. But you just want, if you do the deep frying process, you just want to fry them. They only take like literally maybe 10 seconds or so on each side, and then you flip it over, let it fry for like another 10 seconds. So I'm doing this in actual real time, and you can see how quick they're getting done. If you want a darker chip, you can fry them longer. Then you want to take them out, shake them off the excess oil. Go ahead and put this onto a paper towel and let it drain, and there you go.